President, Mr. Junius who talked about the century-old ICC. As far as I know, that was a remark by Mr. Hon LAM Cheuk-ting when he spoke, and yet he credited to Pen Democrats. I hope he would care to find out the truth first. It is important to find out the truth. Yesterday, when I was talking about the importance of finding the truth, I was watching cable TV last night, and actually after our council meeting, a cable reporter asked the CS4A why she knew that the ICC was not investigating into the CE's case. And she said, "I did not say that. Please, do not misquote me." And then the reporter asked, "Did you ask the ICAC?" And the CS said, "No, I did not say that. Go back on the transcript." After watching this news clip, I actually had this question in my mind, and so I watched the record of CS' speech again, and she said, in preparing for this motion debate, I again ascertained that I was not given to know that the ICAC was conducting an investigation. It's a complex sentence. The sentence told us that she again ascertained what? Ascertained that she was not informed or given notice. Now, if that is the case, then actually, whether the ICAC is conducting the investigation, then it's really like what she said to the cable reporter, that she did not say whether the ICAC was investigating into the CE. I think this is a very important point. It's important because we are considering whether we should invoke the PMP ordinance to investigate into this. I think this is a very important point indeed. In what I quoted, that is the complex sentence used by the CS, I think we don't need to use such complex structures. In her reply, the CS could actually tell us whether the ICAC is investigating into the CE UGL case. If she knows it, tell us yes or no. If she doesn't know, then tell us she doesn't know. Please do not use convoluted passive structures like she was given to know or she was given notice. We just want to know whether she knows or what she doesn't know, and if she knows, what does she know. And the CS also said that Mr. LAM Cheuk-ting raises this case of UGL, and she said she was afraid that all that was speculative or misleading, and she used the word she was afraid. Now, what does it mean? She means she suspects, so she is not certain. I like the CS to make this clear. If she has the facts, if she has facts as basis to say Mr. LAM Cheuk-ting's proposal is totally speculative and misleading. But she said she was afraid that this was speculative or misleading. And by saying that, she is not assisting us. I hope the CS can come clean on this and say in absolute terms what she means. We know the CE is the CS boss. For her to talk about her boss here is extremely sensitive. But we also heard her say that she can be bold if she has nothing that she wants. Between protecting her boss and being accountable to the public, I hope the CS will be bold enough to find a cause that she thinks can help Hong Kong. Mr. President, we have seen unprecedented happenings in Hong Kong in the past period. It's very saddening, and Hong Kong's core values and well-established practices are crumbling. And what core values have we had left? We are talking about one important core value under this debate, and that is probity and integrity. I support the motion proposed by Mr. LAM Cheuk-ting that this Council should invoke the LCPMP Ordinance to set up a select committee to investigate into the ICAC Commissioner Simon PEH's cancellation of the acting appointment of Ms. Rebecca Lee as the head of operations and the whole series of staffing movements that entailed. And the direction for investigation will be whether this is linked to the acceptance of $50 million by the CE from UGL and whether the CE is involved in any conflict of roles. We all know that integrity and probity is a core value of Hong Kong. I believe all 70 members here will agree to that. Ever since its inception in 1974, well, the ICAC is not a century-old shop, but it has a long history. All along, it enforces the law, it prevents corruption, and it educates the public, and it adopts this three-pronged approach to combat corruption, so that Hong Kong can be one of the most clean cities in the world. We must defend this hard-earned core value. Therefore, somebody said, and actually the slogan of the ICAC is that our advantage is you and the ICAC. I support the motion for a very simple reason. The staff movements are very unusual indeed. And we want to know whether the CE has interfered with the operations of the ICAC. It is a public concern. With these reasonable suspicions, the LegCo is duty-bound to do an investigation. We must defend this bottom line of integrity and probity.
I
hope members understand why we have to follow up on this. On the 5th of July this year, according to the news of personnel reshuffle at ICAC was announced in the news. The acting head of operations, Ms. Rebecca Lee, had her acting arrangement cancelled after a year in the capacity. Allegedly, the relevant ICAC staff were shocked at the decision. It was the first instance in which the acting head was not made permanent since the handover. Subsequently, the ICAC issued a press release to announce pre-departure leave of Ms. Rebecca Lee. And they also announced that Ricky Yao would take over as head of operations starting from the 18th of July. At that time, they did not explain the arrangement on Ms. Rebecca Lee, and it was shocking to many within the organization. Subsequently, Simon PEH met the press and said that the cancellation of the acting arrangement was due to substandard performance, but he refused to give more, citing privacy grounds. And before meeting the press, Simon PEH met a number of staff at the grade of investigation officer or above. They cited poor performance as the reason for cancellation of appointment of Rebecca Lee. But this reason was unsound and unsatisfactory. And Simon PEH admitted that over the past few months, he never pointed out issues with her work or made any suggestions in the meeting. Some people doubted Simon PEH's practice and it deviated from the norm. In this ICAC turmoil, Rebecca Lee quit prematurely, and the same went for the principal investigator Dale Koh. Almost 80% of the staff boycotted the annual dinner. It was of the incident was of international concern. The New York Times published an article that the top female investigator at ICAC departed, and they doubted the neutrality of such decision. We don't understand why ICAC's number 2 had her acting arrangement cancelled suddenly. Over the past 30 years, Rebecca Lee's performance was seen as outstanding. In the appointment press release a year ago, the government praised Rebecca Lee's performance, and in 2002 she was made assistant head, and in 2007 she was given a Medal of Merit to acknowledge her outstanding work. So that gave rise to a series of questions. As of now, Simon PEH has failed to understand or point out the inadequacies of Rebecca Lee. We are left with more question marks. Rebecca Lee is the highest official responsible for the investigation of the 50 million payment to CY Leung from UGL, and CY Leung is the person being investigated, and this has led to doubts whether it was a move of political intervention. Was CY Leung involved in the decision to cancel the appointment of Rebecca Lee? If so, it was a serious problem and it was a conflict of roles and interests. Allegedly, around a year ago, ICAC requested CY Leung to provide more information on the UGL case. The CE office and the relevant departments have yet to reply after 1 year. Even though the ICAC has the power to extract certain documents, but they never enforce that power. And was it a case of demotion because of this case? Is this related to CY Leung's case? And Simon PEH didn't make it clear. In the July press conference, he said after cancellation of the appointment of Rebecca Lee, CY Leung was notified, but he did not make any comments or was involved in the decision. As the supervisor of Rebecca Lee, Simon PEH said it was his own decision. When addressing the incident, CY Leung said he did not take part in the decision. He was only informed after the decision was made. According to the ICAC Ordinance, in Section 5(1), the Commissioner is responsible for the work. According to 8(1), the Commissioner can appoint officers as approved by the Chief Executive to carry out the ICAC's function. And according to 8(1), the terms of employment of the ICAC officers must be approved by the Chief Executive. So for the Chief Executive, CE office, and his agent, did they play any role in the incident? Is this something worth looking into? Members who are against setting up a select committee, I have a question. Do we not have to investigate these issues and find out the facts for the public? President, this saga at the ICAC has sent shock waves around Hong Kong, and even the explanations from the ICAC were not convincing. The only answer is to find out the facts. This would restore the morale of the ICAC and defend Hong Kong's reputation. We hope that the ICAC can maintain its function and defend Hong Kong's integrity. If the ICAC is gone, Hong Kong would suffer. That's why LegCo must invoke the PMP ordinance to investigate the issue and monitor the government, and so I speak.